Hey friends, we're coming at you live from the pickup studio today, and there's no time to waste, so let's dive right in. I got a great comment on the last noiseless strap pickup shootout that said, I'm curious what the results might be if pickup height was adjusted so output between the three was more equivalent. So this raises an excellent question that I thought merited a full video. So when we're talking about pickup height and then guitar output, the closer the pickup is to the strings, the louder it's going to be, but it's also going to affect the tone. Because the magnetic range of the pickup is moved closer, it's going to change the tone of the guitar. So this raises an important question when we're talking about pickup comparison videos. To make a true pickup comparison in my mind, it means that we need to have the same pickup height so that we have an accurate understanding of a baseline tone for each pickup. And then we need to have the same input settings on the amp. So when we're talking about ways to equal output, before I dive into the comparison, option one is to adjust the pickup height, like this commenter was suggesting. But like we've already talked about, adjusting the pickup height will change the tone, and it also affects the balance between your pickups on the guitar. This might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Maybe you want your bridge pickup louder than your neck pickup, so you move the bridge pickup way closer and you move the neck pickup further away. This is definitely something that has been talked about to death on the forums, so I won't go too far into it. But the important thing is that I believe for a pickup comparison, you want all your pickups to be the same, but you also need to trust the YouTuber who's putting together the pickup comparison to do that. And I got caught in this last video. I did not verify that all of my pickups were set to the same height. So what we're about to watch is a redo of the pickup comparison between the Tonerider Surfaris, the Tonerider Apex, and the HS-3 Dimarzio pickups. We're only going to do the neck and the bridge pickups because the Dimarzio set, I did not order the middle pickup because Yngwie doesn't use it. So we're just going to hear the neck and the bridge. So all of the pickup heights are the same. I also tuned the guitars prior to making the video. On the last video, I did not do that, and the Tonerider Apex guitar was a little flat relative to the other pickups, which definitely influences your ears. So now we've got tuned guitars that match. We've got matching pickup heights. You may be wondering which pickup height I went with. Another excellent question. So first off, to measure pickup height, we need to hold down the string at the bottom of the neck. I'm just grabbing the closest guitar here. But to measure pickup height, you press down on the last fret of the neck on the thick E string. And then you take your millimeter gauge. I'm using the Fret Guru 2. And you'll notice that this says bottom of string at the line mark. So that you want the bottom of your string, which is round, to touch the bottom of the line that's being measured. And then in terms of putting this there, you're going to put it on the pickup magnet. So don't put it on the bobbin, actually put it on the rod magnet, and then hold down that last fret for that string, and that's how you get your pickup measurement. So going back to what we decided to use, 6/64 on the low E string and 5/64 on the high E string for every pickup. This, based on what I've researched, this is kind of the standard for vintage strats. And then for modern strats, you can go 1/64 higher. So instead of 6 on the low E, 5 on the high E, you go 5 on the low E and 4 on the high E. And then another wild card is that the Dimarzio HS3s claim that because of the way they're designed, you can put them much closer to the string than a traditional single coil. Yngwie puts his HS3s super close to the pickup, or to the string. The bridge pickup is actually almost touching the string when you press down the last fret. And then on the neck pickup, it's just a teeny bit further away. I'll put those Yngwie pickup height specs in the description in case you're interested. But that's enough talking. We want to hear the comparison. So let's dive right in. You're about to hear a non-blind comparison with the same tuning and the same pickup height, and hopefully an equivalently played riff. Let's check it out. All right, so now that we've heard that, what can we take away? In terms of my ears, what I'm hearing, I intentionally chose my AC/DC preset. So this is like a low gain Marshall, vintage Marshall sound. So it's right on the edge of breakup. So that means that a higher output pickup is going to distort more, and a lower output pickup is going to sound cleaner with less distortion. So Excalibur, that Tonerider Surfari guitar, definitely the highest output. It had the most distortion across all the pickups, both with the chords and in the single note playing. And the interesting thing is that this is still a vintage, the Tonerider Surfaris are a vintage Strat set. So if we were to compare the Tonerider Surfaris against a traditional humbucker or a high output humbucker, it's always going to be the quietest. So we know this if we go into a guitar store and we play an SG and then we play a Strat, the SG is going to sound louder, thicker, etc. So with the Surfari being the loudest of this comparison with the most distortion, that means that when we hear the Tonerider Apex and then the Dimarzio HS-3s, those have less distortion, they're cleaner, which means they're quieter, lower output, even quieter than your vintage Strat pickups that we heard with the Surfari. So that was definitely crazy to me when I got my first set of Yngwie pickups. I was like, I can't use these, they're so quiet. And that makes sense now why Yngwie uses a boost pedal maxed out on the volume so that he can drive his Marshall amp to that level of distortion. So stacked single coils, because of their design, I believe will always be quieter than a traditional single coil. And tonally, as we just heard, they sound a little closer to a humbucker. You don't have as much of the like in-your-face upper mids. The whole frequency is smoothed out a little bit. It's scooped a little bit, and it's just really warm. I had another comment that said that the guitar, the difference between the Tonerider Apex and the Tonerider Surfaris could have been because of the fretboard material. On one Strat, it's rosewood, and on the other Strat, it's maple. But I think as we just heard, the Yngwie guitar also has a one-piece maple neck, just like the Surfari guitar has a one-piece maple neck, and they sound totally different, I believe, because of the pickups. So there you go. So I hope that's been an informative comparison. Thanks for sticking around, and if there's anything else you want to see, let me know in the comments. Thanks.